Hey Eagles, welcome back to the Avion broadcast. I'm Dominic Popolo.
And I'm Josie Galato.
You know, Josie, it's been a crazy week, but I'm so happy you're here with me to anchor the broadcast.
It has been a pretty crazy week, and I'm happy to be here too. Did you do anything fun this weekend?
Not really. I just went to work, I caught up on some schoolwork, and just spent time with friends and slept, of course. How about you?
I did the same thing. Also work, friends, you know. Let's have Monica show us what's coming up this week on campus.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Avion broadcast. My name is Monica Northwest and I'm your campus life reporter for the spring 2024 semester. This end of February is near and I'm here to give an update on what is going to happen this week. We're opening our week on Wednesday, February 28th, with lunch and learns with student organizations in the Student Union room 428 from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., which I think is a great event to start with. You will have the opportunity to enjoy food and in the meantime be an academic weapon. Normally the 28th would be the end of the month, but not this time because 2024 is the leap year and we have 29 days in February, which means more time for fun. On this day, we have an unusual Peppy Hour again, which is Leap Day Special Peppy Hour, happening on this Thursday at 3:30 p.m. on the third floor of the Student Union. Some people think that leap years are special since they're happening once in 4 years. They assign different superstitions and mystical potential to this year. And as we're slowly approaching this evening of February 29th, this time we have a movie night, Five Nights at Freddy's, hosted by Touch and Go Productions at 8:30 p.m. on the Connolly Quad. I don't know about you guys, but this game used to be my worst nightmare when I was a kid. We're starting the new month on Friday, March 1st, and on this day, as usual, we have Skyline Social. Again, don't forget to get those bonus bucks and stamp your loyalty card. There are not many events happening this week, but that makes more free time to spend with your friends or dedicate it to yourself. New months, new beginnings, so have fun, make right decisions, and stay hydrated. That was all for today. I'm Monica Northwest, and it was your Campus Life Report. Back to you, Josie and Dominic.
Thanks, Monica. You know, even though campus may seem so big, we're just a tiny speck in a gigantic world.
Wow, way to get all philosophical.
Hey, ever since the EagleCam designed by a team of students here at Embry-Riddle launched, what else is out there is all that's been on my mind.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that headline-grabbing project. Let's see what other stories are in the headlines this week. Welcome back to National News. On Monday, February 19th, a United Airlines flight bound for Boston was forced to make an emergency landing at Denver International Airport after reporting damage to the leading edge slat of the wing. United Flight 354, a Boeing 757-200 series, originally operated with Continental Airlines before the airline merged with United and is currently 29 years old. The FAA released this statement on their website. To quote, United Airlines Flight 354 landed safely at Denver International Airport around 5:15 p.m. local time on Monday, February 19th, after the crew reported a possible flap issue. The Boeing 757 departed San Francisco International Airport and was headed to Boston Logan International Airport. As there were no fatalities, the FAA will be leading the investigation. Campaigning season for the 2024 presidential elections is underway, and with it comes the portrayal of candidates to the public through news media. Those behind the scenes in the White House as President Biden begins a campaign for re-election have started to challenge the portrayal of the president in the news, especially concerning his age and capabilities for the job. Frank Sesno, a professor from George Washington University, informed AP News that, to quote, people will make up their minds based on what they see and hear from Joe Biden, meaning their perceptions of the current president as the election year wears on will be influenced by the coverage provided by their news source of choice. I'm Aki Olszewski. That's a look at the headlines for this week, and back to the desk.
Thanks, Aki. Keeping with the aviation theme, let's head over to Joey to hear about some updates from the fleet.
Hello Eagles, my name is Joseph Colangelo and it is my privilege to welcome you all back to another edition of Fleet Updates. It has been such an overwhelmingly exciting week in spaceflight that I don't know how we'll cover it all. Let's start with our biggest announcement ever on the Avion broadcast. We are on the moon. That's right Eagles, we have officially landed on the moon aboard an Intuitive Machines' Nova-C lunar lander. EagleCam, an Embry-Riddle student project, has touched down and tipped over on the surface of the moon. Hopefully by now we have gotten some incredible images from the tipped over lander from our improvised deployment of EagleCam. The original deployment of EagleCam was planned to take place during the spacecraft's landing sequence when the spacecraft was 100 feet off the lunar surface to capture imagery of the lander touching down on the moon. The deployment was delayed following communication and navigational failures the night of the landing. EagleCam will by now have deployed from the tipped-over lander and captured some inspiring images of mankind's continued perseverance and ingenuity in the face of challenge. Now, there's much more detail we can get into about EagleCam, but we do have an entire planet's worth of space news to cover this week. Launching from Wakayama, Japan on Friday, March 8th, Space One will perform the maiden flight of its brand new Kairos rocket. Standing 18 meters tall and named for the Greek god of opportunity, Kairos is notable for being partially made from off-the-shelf Canon electronics used in cameras and photocopiers. Using these off-the-shelf components, Space One claims that Kairos has the world's shortest response time for a rocket launch. Tremendous progress for the international private space sector. And speaking of the international sector, Rocket Lab will be launching on the 9th of March, carrying a series of synthetic aperture radar satellites for Synspective. The mission is dubbed Owl Night Long, and it is the 4th mission for Rocket Lab bearing the Owl name. Next up, on the 11th of March, SpaceX will be flying its 30th cargo resupply to the International Space Station as part of the Commercial Resupply Services program. Cargo Dragon will be carrying supplies and payload that are essential to the daily operation of the ISS. And in the news this week, Japan's Smart Lander for Investigating News, or SLIM, has survived the 2-week-long lunar night without heater power. On February 12th, the battle-scarred lander was forced to shut down as lunar night began to set over its landing site. The little lander was not intended or expected to survive the harsh conditions of lunar night without power or heat. On the 25th of February, JAXA sent wake-up calls to the lander and found SLIM responding. Engineers at JAXA and space enthusiasts all over the world rejoiced at the news. Our favorite Japanese lunar lander is alive, and she is talking to us. I've been Joseph Colangelo for Fleet Updates.
Thanks, Joey. You know, every day I can practically feel it getting warmer on campus.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm finding myself wearing jackets less and wanting to spend more time out in the sun. I really just want to go to the beach soon.
I don't know if it's warm enough for that yet, but let's check up with Jillian to see how warm it's going to get this week.
Yeah, Josie, we're not seeing those beach temperatures just yet. Current temperature 57 degrees, but 10-mile visibility, so not too many clouds in the sky. The temperatures are pretty split across the nation. It's all divided by this cold front that's hanging out in the plains. A lot colder temperatures behind it, and we're going to start to see the effects of that cold front into Thursday. So here it is, Wednesday morning, still sitting just to the northwest of us, but as we move throughout the day into the evening, it's going to be knocking on our doorstep. But look at this temperature difference. Ahead of the front in the 70s, behind the front 40s and 50s. So definitely a big temperature difference, and that's going to be pushing on through, and we're really going to start feeling those cold temperatures into Thursday morning when you're waking up for those morning classes. So again, temperatures ranging in the 70s throughout the week with lows in the 60s and 50s. But the rain should stay away for the most part.
Thanks, Jillian. I can't wait for the warm-up this week. We need to plan a beach day when it gets even warmer.
Oh, definitely. But you know what we can do in the meantime outdoors?
No, what?
We can go across the street to the fields and watch some of our Embry-Riddle sports teams in action. Let's go to David to hear about what games are happening this week.
Good morning, Eagles. I'm David Allgood, back with another sports report. Last Monday, the Eagles track team traveled out to Gainesville, where they competed in the inaugural Peach Belt Conference indoor track tournament. Both the men's and women's team dominated the field and took home the conference title. Now some of the athletes will prepare for the Division II National Championship. The 12th-ranked Eagles women's lacrosse team will stay here to take on Flagler tomorrow under the lights at 7 p.m. Embry-Riddle basketball enters the final week of regular season play as March is knocking on this doorstep, which means the madness is about to begin, starting with the Sunshine State Conference Tournament quarterfinals on March 5th. Shifting off campus, the NBA and NHL resume their regular schedules as the All-Star break for both sports has passed. NASCAR drivers will line up on the grid in Las Vegas this weekend as the Cup Series carries on. That's all from me, Eagles, and remember to stay classy.
Thanks, David. I will definitely be checking out some of those sports events next week.
Me too. I can't wait for the lacrosse game.
And with that, I'm Dominic Popolo.
And I'm Josie Galato.
We'll see you next week on another episode of the Avion broadcast.